Hey, middle schoolers. It's Mr. Freilinger. It is in the evening right now. I'm still at school, but I wanted to just record a short video. Number one, to just thank you all for how you responded to the event that happened, when we had to go into a hold yesterday morning or this morning. I know that's hard. I know staying in one room when you don't know what's going on, and maybe you're nervous about something, and maybe your teacher doesn't know what's going on. I know that's really hard. And that's why we practice things like fire drills and tornado drills and things like that so that we're prepared in order to keep you all safe. So I just wanted to go over a few things with you. And then leave you with some advice, I guess. The reason why we call holds is when we have an event going on in the building that isn't like super dangerous, but also we like don't need other people around it. And so the event yesterday really only involved like 5 students, and it was a lot of yelling, and it was really loud, and there could have been some danger happening, but what we didn't need is another 1,000 students around watching it happen. Because when we're doing that, it brings more attention to a situation, and it makes it harder for us as adults to try to figure out what's going on and get people to a safe location. So that's why we called the hold yesterday. Keep people where they're at. It's not really dangerous, but we also don't need a crowd forming. I know that there's rumors about what happened and what might happen. All I can tell you is it involved some of our students that just are not getting along. And when we've worked really hard to try to figure out ways to get along, and we've worked with families and we've tried to figure that out, but it's still just not getting better. And unfortunately, we had to call the police because people are just being really upset. And so that's why we had to have police officers here that were involved, that are now working with families and working with students in order to keep us safe. And that leads me to like my last point is that, like in my message yesterday that I sent out, is we have to find ways to not bring violence into our school. It's just, it is not fair to the 1,000-some students here that are just doing the right thing to have to worry about, a fight happening or someone being really upset or anything like that is just kind of breaks my heart that we have to worry about that. But I also have to be conscious that we have people that have disagreements, and sometimes those disagreements lead to a lot of hurt feelings that then lead to something physical. And I know that happens at every middle school and every school that I've ever been in, but we got to get better at asking for help from adults or your family to be able to figure out situations. And so that's why I really need you, and why we're investing so much time in having an adult that you trust in the building. I know that's hard, and we do a lot of surveys and a lot of work around that, but you have to be able to find somebody that can help you. And that doesn't need to be me, and it doesn't need to be Mr. Knudsen or Ms. Fuqua or Ms. Dubois-Neely or your counselor, but I do need it to be somebody. I need it to be a teacher or somebody in the office or someone who works in the lunchroom. All I care about is that you have somebody that you can trust and that you can talk to. And if you don't, that's why we do those surveys, to figure out how do we build connections with these students that don't have somebody that they trust. Last thing that I'll bring up is if you do know about something that might be happening, or you've heard a rumor or something, we now have P3. It's the anonymous tip thing. It's part of your links on your Chromebook, so you can submit that if that's something that you think is important for us to know. So I appreciate you all trying to keep us safe. So last bit of a rundown. You guys did a great job yesterday, you and your teachers, for not knowing what was going on, to be able to respond and stay in a safe spot. We called a hold when something's not super dangerous, but we don't need a crowd happening, and so that's why we had you hang out in homeroom for so long. we have to find ways to limit the violence that's brought into our building. Thankfully, like really, I know it says on the news that people were fighting, and yeah, there was 2 punches that were thrown, and those are being dealt with. But it was mostly just a lot of yelling and a lot of big feelings and a lot of hurt feelings that required a lot of adults, like 10 adults, to get that all figured out. And unfortunately, we had to call the police to help us out with that as well too. Find somebody that you trust, that you can talk to if you have something going on with you that we can help with. And then lastly, if you know of something that might be happening, please use that P3 link so that we can help try to keep our building as safe as possible. Please come talk to me or anybody else that you trust. If you have more questions about this, I'll share the information that I can. There's certain things that I can't share, but I do want you I want you to feel as safe as possible here at Ames Middle School. So thank you all again, and let's have a great day.